Welcome. Would you please, Bunkali, introduce your group and the purpose of your group?
Hello, my name is Bunkali Malimo. I'm a third year at Buffalo State University. My major is Africana Studies right now. I'm currently in the process of looking for a double major because I think I could take more on, but that's me. The group we were a part of was the organizing group, group one, where we, with the purpose of like finding individuals that would best suit the conference that we were putting together. So we were just a bunch of people, and then just nitpicking which ones would be the best people to have at the conference, essentially.
So you selected the presenters?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, would you introduce yourself, Antoine?
My name is Antoine. I'm a major in Africana Studies, and I am a first year, and I live in Buffalo.
All right, I have some questions for you, gentlemen. Number one, how did you find the process of doing your work, your group's work, as part of this conference? Was it easy, hard, informative?
Well, I mean, we had, because I'm not from Buffalo, I didn't say that before, I'm originally from like the Bronx, New York, so like my familiarity, for me at least, with like people in Buffalo and like organizations in Buffalo, it was very like detached, because again, I'm not from here, but I had the help of Professor Watson and Brother Shango to help me discover these types of people that we would eventually bring together. So it was like, it was a level of detachment, and then I was just getting accustomed to all these individuals, and I learned a lot from that experience too, of like what organizations that are there not only for the people, but that I myself can also turn to.
I should. Anything to add?
I'd say it's very, very informative because, I mean, I live in Buffalo, but I was very at home type of person, so I barely knew any of the people that did the art around here.
Okay, thank you. All right, question two. Did you learn anything? You kind of said a little bit about this, but did you learn anything doing this conference work process?
I would say I just learned about a lot of people and the work they've done. Shout out to Carrie Horn and her experience with combating police brutality in Buffalo. And I heard she had like a court case the day of the Black Sun Buffalo event, right? If I'm correct.
I don't know if it was that day, but it was close to that day. It was around that day.
So I hope she gets that all sorted out and she, free her.
Yes.
And such. I learned a lot about Baba Ang. I said Baba Ang.
Mm-hmm.
And his work with helping people who just got out of prison, reacclimate to society and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very impactful, and to know that there's people like that who are doing that work out there gives me hope for the people in the future, because the prison industrial complex, it takes a lot of our people and it destroys us, it's made to break us, and I think that's very traumatizing, and I'm just glad someone's doing the work.
I should. Any funny stories along the way? Anything unexpected? If so, how'd you overcome it?
I actually really don't. Funny stories?
Anything unexpected? Anything maybe you came into the course you weren't expecting and then it happened? It was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this or that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Well, then hopefully you had clear instructions the whole time. Okay. All right, last question. What advice would you give to future students doing this kind of work in this course?
I would say be ready to interact and socialize with other people and stuff like that. I'm not the most social individual, so things like that get me very overwhelmed. But I just had to adapt and lock in, and I did all that I could.
You did great. Antoine?
I wouldn't say like try too hard, but you know, just try.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your.
Peace and love. Peace and love. How you doing?
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself and your community?
Yes, my name is Jada Ivy. I'm a fashion merchandising major here at Buff State and also a sophomore. I am originally from Buffalo, New York. We are group 2. We were the concept group, so we put the whole event together, from vendors, from the itinerary to the program, figuring out each layers of who we want to go first for the speaker, when we want to have drumming, when do we want to have lunch. So being very strategic when it comes to putting the event together from the start to the end.
Sure.
Introduce yourself.
Can you introduce yourself? Yes.
My name is Robert. I'm a senior PR and advertising major, and I'm from Queens, New York.
My major is individualized studies. I'm a junior and I'm from the Bronx.
I'm Mayana. I'm a freshman. I am an Africana major and I'm from Buffalo, New York.
I'm Andrew. My major is journalism. I'm a sophomore and I'm from right here at Buffalo.
Sure. Well, we're gonna start with you. I just got a series of questions I want to ask. Starting with you. How did you find this process easy, hard, or informative?
I think overall, I would say it was pretty difficult. I think that because it's not like we had to come up with a concept, but we also had to get the approval from the whole class. So as a group, we worked well together. So it wasn't difficult like in our meetings, but once we brought back what we discussed in our meetings to the class, it was met sometimes with a little like, oh, we don't agree with that. We should do this. So it was. I don't want to say it was too difficult. It's just that everyone has to be on the same page. And when you're trying to plan something like 30 different people, 9 out of 10, someone's not going to agree. So that's how I feel. But I would also say to whoever's watching this in the future, take those meetings on Mondays or wherever your group meets outside of class serious. Because I think we can admit, if we didn't take it as serious as we did meeting in the library, we probably would have been a little far behind too.
Sure. Question.
Adams.
Adams. Oh yeah, my bad. Did you guys learn anything while doing the work?
We learned a lot from like the elders that we came and spoke to us. We was able to get their point of view on how they are active in the community and what we can do to like add on to it as being on campus. So we were able to learn from them off campus and what they do off campus. We learned so we could bring it like what they do on campus, so it could connect both from campus and outside of Buffalo.
Next question. Any funny stories along the way or anything unexpected? How did you overcome that?
Something unexpected we overcome was the food. All semester,
Right.
I've been telling these folks, $500 is not enough to cater from we said 150 people to 200. Nobody want to listen to me to the end, and then they figured it out. But we ended up getting chartwheels, and we got food, and we were able to feed everybody, so it worked out.
Sure. Last question. What advice would you give to the next coherent students?
Every other group, can I cuss?
Yeah, go ahead. Be free.
Every other group be on their ass
Yeah.
because they don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing I can say, like, our group worked really, really well together. Very well. So making sure that you build that relationship with your group. Because we did meet. Like, we actually met. Every Monday physically. So and making sure that everyone was on top of each other, like, hey, are you coming? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, very important for the conference is to meet with your group outside of class so you can be prepared for the next class. And this class is only one day out the week. So it's very important to meet outside, and we worked really well together, and I think our group did a really good job with the concept and, putting it together on who we want first and different things like that. So working with your group is very important and connecting with them, right guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I would also say too, for the concept group, everyone is gonna look to you to get the ball rolling.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
be prepared to come to class and everyone's like, well, we can't do our job till concept figures it out. So make
Which is
sure
not true.
you have an idea of what you want to do, because it felt like everyone was waiting to do their part till we finished our part. So no, not trying to throw no shade. but
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like they was like, oh, well, we don't know the concept, so what are we gonna do? So y'all gotta get that done as soon as possible.
Now, if it's one thing y'all could have did different, what would it be? Going into this learning, if you say I could have.
I would just say do everything faster. Like we were kind of going with the flow because we were the first group, but like I wish we could have like reached out to people 2 weeks earlier than when they finally did get the message, or come up
Yes,
with a concept a week earlier than when we did. You know, because that'll just make everything go faster.
So timing.
Yeah,
Timing.
pretty much.
Timing is
Set
key.
deadlines. We want some, like, I want this to be done by this date, this to be done by this date, this to be this date.
Interesting. So y'all get it, timing.
All right. Would the spokesperson for your group tell us the name of your group and what the purpose of the group was?
Yeah, so we're the social media group, and the purpose was to, do social media, like spread the word about the event, get people excited about it, and yeah.
All right, thank you. Would the members of the group please introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Kiara. I'm a freshman. I'm a fashion designer major, and I live in Buffalo.
Hi, my name is Ariel. I'm a sophomore. My major is criminal justice, and I'm minoring in Africana studies. And my hometown is Brooklyn, New York.
What's up, y'all? I'm from the Bronx, AE, and a little bit of Buffalo. I'm Jay. My major is Africana Studies, and then I'm a senior.
All right, thank you. All right, some questions for you with a future cohort in mind. How did you find the process in terms of creating this conference from your group's perspective? Was it easy, hard, informative? What thoughts might you have on how you found the process?
I think that overall is easy, but I think that like the communication part and like trying to get other groups to understand that we couldn't like really start until we had like the date down, that the place was booked, that like all of these other things were set in motion so we could actually make the flyers. But we did make some like, coming soon flyers, trying to like kind of prep it. But yeah, I feel like that was like kind of our hardest stuff.
All right, second question. Did you learn anything while doing the work?
I could say I did in a sense because I feel like I was working with like people who kind of knew and like knew what to do and like was in a situation before, so it was like it kind of made me feel comfortable like being in a space where like people is welcoming and like they want to get the work done as well. So.
Beautiful. Anything to add to that?
I think I learned a lot about the community in Buffalo and just more about Black culture and Black people as a whole.
Sure. All right, question 3. Any funny stories along the way? Anything unexpected? Did you have to overcome anything?
Yes. Honestly, I really thought we was gonna have the whole shebang, soul food array of like yams. I said it all the time.
It's on me.
And then we had like subs, which I enjoyed. I love a good sub. I'm not gonna lie. Chips, a little something. I just expected soul food. So maybe that could be a thing next time. I could come and taste what y'all bring to the table.
You get on that early, future group. Yeah.
I don't think it was nothing unexpected. I feel like everything was like said right then and there when we got to class. So like, everything just fell into play.
I just feel like maybe more the Buffalo community or like maybe the school community could have come out more.
Yeah, it was a rainy day though. It was kind of drizzling, so I feel like,
And it was the first time doing it. So. All right, final question. What advice would you give to the next cohort of students?
Like, just like communicate, because school is hard. So, everybody has their classes. So it can be tough sometimes, but just like kind of communicate. Like, if you have work or if you going through something, you can't pick up like a certain task or something, you just say that.
Communication. Just be on top of it. I mean, I feel like this course is not hard compared to all the other classes that other people be taking, and it'd be way more work than this. So I feel like this is nothing compared to other classes.
I would say don't be afraid to respectfully engage like elders of the community, because like the most impactful insights come from elders and lived experience. So
They have all the lifetime of stories.
Talk to the elders.
Well, thank you. Group 3, Media Group. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Spokesman, can I get your name and the name of the committee?
Permission to speak?
Yes, sir.
My name is Malachi, and I'm a part of the writing group, and we are responsible for coming up for advertisements for the newspaper and finding like speakers and things like that for the event, and we're like responsible for like generating emails to write to a certain branches of people we want to come in connection with and things like that.
You introduce yourself?
My name is Israel Spolga. I am a history major. I'm technically a junior, but I'm a transfer student, so it's over. And my hometown is Green, New York.
Green, New York.
I'm Imani. I'm a fashion design major and African studies minor. I'm a senior, and I'm originally from New Jersey, but I currently live in Buffalo.
My name is Rocco, and I am a television and film major, double majoring with Africana Studies. I'm a junior, and I'm from New Jersey.
Ashay. I got a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Let's start with my brother Israel. How did you find this process? Easy, hard, or informative?
I'd say it was definitely more informative for me as someone who's not native to Buffalo. I found I learned a lot about the local community in Buffalo through this class and the conference. So,
my sister, did you guys learn anything while doing the work?
Well, for me personally, I definitely learned more about like just Buffalo in general, like what is in the community, because I'm not from Buffalo, so it definitely opened my eyes to what's out there in the community.
Any funny stories along the way?
So I remember like 3 weeks before, I think, the conference, and there was still even a lot of confusion on what was happening with the food. And I think we were in class and we were debating what was going to happen, and I just remember somebody from the actual group that was that was deciding on the food is like, so what are we going to do about the food? And I'm like, oh, that's your job, but okay. And then I think another thing that was comical was like that our budget was presumed to be 500, and then suddenly we find out it's triple that. A week before of the thing. So that was funny to me, but it still turned out great.
What advice would you give to the next coherent students?
Okay, so as I said before, my name is Malachi. I study hospitality, and I'm a junior currently. Next year I'll be a senior, and I'm from Buffalo. The advice I would give to future students coming in is, like, it may seem like a lot at first, it may seem confusing at first, but it all gonna be worth it at the end. You're gonna build relationships with people you probably would have never built relationships with before. Starting off, it was like a little confusing, to where it was like, obviously it's groups, so you're gonna need other groups to help you. So you just, like, say you get your section done, just be patient and wait for the next group, and it all come together at the end. And as far as like coming to class and putting the time and forth and putting your 100% effort into this class, I would say is within your best interest, because it's like, it is 1 day a week. It is 2.5 hours, but throughout that time, you're learning information, you're putting up things, you're like creating things for it to come together, you're planning things, you're coming up with things. It's just a whole bunch it's like you feel like a teacher, and like, when you in that moment, it's just like appreciated, because like it only happened once. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be like the first to do it, to make it better for you guys. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, I plan to like come back after I graduate and see this conference be 10 times better than what it already is. You know what I'm saying? So that's some of the advice I would give to the future.
Any other body want to chime in on advice for future students?
Yeah, just one question. If y'all can change anything, what would it be? For the people that's coming up, y'all can do anything different, what would that be?
I mean, both in terms of changing something, but also giving advice. I think we should have gotten deadlines figured out a lot sooner. For like when we wanted things to be ready, when we wanted to start advertising. I think that's something we as a group failed at, and the wider club as a whole didn't do too well with. So that's something I think that I would want to work on for the next class, is getting that sorted pretty early on, because I know Rocco mentioned that something he was disappointed with was that not a lot of on-campus people came to the conference. But also, we didn't really start advertising until like a few days before. So if we can get those deadlines sorted, then we can really start getting things out there and maybe get more people on campus to show.
And that just falls into communication. To answer this question, what would be one thing I would change?
We have a class.
Yes.
Okay, so one thing I would change would be like communication, because I feel like communication goes a long way, and that's with real life too. So like, when you meet with your group, because you're going to be meeting outside the classroom with your group to understand the group, and it's like, if your group is not on the same page as you, it's like you're kind of on an island, and you kind of want to make sure y'all all in cahoots with each other, so everything moves smoothly.
Sure. Well, that was great. One more.
I think you should not be afraid to engage, and I wish that I engaged more in the beginning. I had to kind of feel out the room and see where I fit. But I think that like it takes so many hands to make this event, and don't think that your hand shouldn't be in the pot when making it. Like, you know, it came together in the end, but I do think that everybody, you know, we could have done more. And I think you guys should keep that in mind. Everything should be better. The next generation, the next time should be better. That's what we should strive for. Thank you.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Introduce yourself and your committee.
My name is Nehemiah. I'm a CIS major, and our committee is Group 5. We're the management group.
Where you from?
Rochester. From Rochester.
Rochester.
Like I said, our group is the management group, and we're basically in charge of getting the room booked for the convention and keeping the other groups on task. So we would go to each group. We separated. One of us took each group, and then we would write down how far they got, what they did, and then later at the end of the class, we would go and basically spew it back to the class, which each group got done, and then we talk about it a little bit, and then we go from there.
Sure. You introduce yourself?
My name is Tyler Sean Ogletree. I'm a sophomore. My major is Africana Studies, and I'm from Queens, New York.
Sure. Okay.
My name is Jakai. My major is psychology, and I am from Harlem.
Harlem. I got a couple of questions. I'm gonna start with my brother right here. How did you find the process? Hard, easy, or informative?
I found the process to be very informative and not easy per se, but I had an understanding of what to do. With it being informative because of what we learned from all the other groups. Like first week, every group made a presentation about what they picked. For instance, redlining was group 2 or 3 got, I don't know. And I just learned a lot of information from the readings we was given and the videos.
Sure. Did you guys learn anything while doing the work?
yes, a lot, because I mean we're all not from Buffalo, so like just the class in general taught us a lot about the people here. And like as far as like working on the convention and stuff like that, it kind of puts you out your comfort zone because you're talking to a whole bunch of people with different groups and different responsibilities, and it teaches you how to like, I guess, come together as a whole from your groups and work together and talk without, you know, getting an argument because even like one person what they said or another person what they said. Just kind of working together.
Sure. Any funny stories along the way or anything unexpected? How did you overcome that?
When it was time to figure out the food for the event, I feel like that was the most like challenging and funniest, you know, thing that could transpire, because although we believe like Wegmans and everybody else may have like bundle deals where the food may actually be good, the people that are from Buffalo are telling us like, no, you can't get food from there. Well, you can get food from here, and then it's like we have the school food, and it just was frustrating, but like it also was funny because it was just like, okay, we're never gonna fully agree on something. We just need someone to cater to us.
That's right. What advice would you give to the next coherent students?
I would say to keep an open mind, because we had visitors and they told their stories, and it opened another perspective in the way of life for people to see where they're coming from and how they ended up where they are now.
That's it. I got one last question. If y'all could do something different, if y'all can let them know we should have did this different, what would it be?
I think that we should have like engaged just a slight bit more with the guests that came in, because we could, like, although we got a different perspective from them, like there was more that they didn't share, because not to say like we were not interested, but like if everyone is not asking questions, the class kind of like feeds off of each other. So after a while, no one asks anything, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna talk about a general aspect of things, but I don't know what you guys want to know specifically. So I feel like the next class, or us in general, we should just focus on like engaging better.
Be more direct. I got you. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything? You good? Well, this concludes the meeting. Peace out.